What have we got on the agenda today? Ooh, a collaboration with complicated knots. Excellent. I had an absolute blast working on our last collaboration, and I'm hoping this one can recapture some of that energy. Links will be down in the description for both our previous collaboration videos as well as Complicated Knots companion video to this one. Make sure that when you're done here, you head on over to her channel to watch that video and also subscribe to her channel if you're not subscribed already, because if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? You should be. Now onto the plan. The basic premise here is that Kylie and I are going to co-create an amigurumi pattern. I'm going to get us started off by designing the first piece. I'll then shoot Kylie an email with that pattern attached. She'll open that bad boy up, crochet the piece I designed, and after completing it, she'll design piece number 2, send that pattern on back to me, and I'll whip up my own piece 2 using her instructions. We'll repeat this back and forth until we have each designed 3 pieces, giving us 6 pieces in total. Totally chill and simple, right?
Totally.
Which is why we decided to make things a whole lot harder for ourselves by enforcing a few simple rules. Rule number 1, we must only design 1 piece at a time, with the exception of things that are generally crocheted in pairs, such as eyes, arms, etc. Rule number 2, we can't identify any of our pieces. We're just going to refer to them by the order in which they're crocheted. So piece 1, piece 2, so on. Rule number 3, no specifics. This includes things such as where to place safety eyes, what color yarn to use. None of that is going to be included. Rule number 4, no photos or videos, just the bare bones basic written pattern. And finally, rule number 5, no assembly instructions. When all 6 random pieces are done, we're going to have to figure out how they all fit together by ourselves.
Good luck.
Right, I'll be getting us started off here by making piece number 1, and first order of business is to decide what it is I actually want to make. Generally when I'm designing, I will start off by making the head. I find it easiest to proportion everything to the head, but I think if I did that in this instance, it'll be a little bit too obvious, and for that reason I'm going to be nixing the idea of making the body piece as well, so I'm going to have to come up with something else. The way to go, I think, will be to crochet something slightly unusual, nothing absurd or super weirdly shaped. We're aiming for fun, not frustration, when we try and put this unholy creation together. But I'm thinking something that I don't normally include in the majority of my patterns. And I do have an idea, so I'm going to grab my yarn, hop on over to my crochet table, and get to work. I've got my yarn, I've got my hook, and I've got my idea. And I don't know why I did that because you can't see me pointing to my head. But anyway, I am good to go. So whenever I'm designing a new project, I tend to write everything down. I probably take an excessive amount of notes, but you know, it saved my butt on multiple occasions. So I'm just going to keep on keeping on. YOLO and all that. In this context, however, I think the constant stopping and starting will be a bit of a nuisance. So to circumvent that, what I'm going to do is just say what I'm doing aloud, then listen back to the audio later when I'm editing and use that to type up the pattern. Sort of like a reverse audiobook. I'll start off this project, like I start off most of my projects, with 6 single crochet in a magic circle. Unlike a lot of my other projects though, I'm going to do this one in rows. So I've started off with a magic circle, but I'm going to work in rows rather than rounds. And for row number 2, I'm actually going to chain 1, turn my work, and do a single crochet, and then an increase, and I'm going to repeat this 3 times. So that's row 2. All I'm going to do now is continue crocheting back and forth in rows because I have an idea of the shape I want this to take. And then when I'm done, I'll bring you guys back and show you what it is I've created. Behold the final product. Be honest, how many of you already guessed what they are? But now that they're finished, I'm going to wing Kylie an email so she can crochet her own set. When that's done, she will then design piece number 2, send that back to me, and when I get my paws on it, I will crochet my own piece number 2, and after that I can dive into designing piece number 3. Alright, so I am now in possession of the pattern for piece number 2, and I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to hop on over to my crochet table and get this thing done. You know, when I first started to crochet this, I was pretty confident that it was the body piece. And I am now paying for my earlier hubris because I am confused. I am really, really confused. Is it a body piece? Is it a head piece? Is it both together? Which way does it go? Questions I have been asking myself for about an hour now, and I still have no answers to them. What do you guys think? Is it a head and body piece together, or am I totally off base here? In any case, I can't spend too much longer pondering the mystery that is piece number 2 because I need to get on with designing piece number 3. Fortunately, during my previous hours pondering, I was struck by inspiration. If you hold the piece this way, it somewhat vaguely, from a distance, if you squint a little bit, sort of resembles a Pokemon that I quite like. This is where, if I have the time, I'll edit in a "who's that Pokemon" clip, but I don't know what the future holds. Editing is Future Lee's problem, not mine. Turns out I would have had time, I just forgot. Anyway, it's Gastrodon. It kind of looks like Gastrodon. Gastrodon is the evolved form of Shellos, isn't it? Yes. So it looks vaguely like Gastrodon. And my idea for my Gastrodon thing was to crochet an underbelly with some little legs, all as one piece. The legs would only be small. I'll probably use either a picot stitch or a popcorn stitch. I do love a good popcorn stitch. And that's going to be my plan. Gastrodon inspired belly / legs. So I'm just going to get right back over to my crochet table and whip that up. And here we go. This is the piece that I just crocheted, the underbelly and the little legs. I did end up going with the popcorn stitch, and that is going to go there at this stage. And the wings I crocheted, which I still haven't weaved in the ends, they are going to sit on the back. Now this arrangement is subject to change. It is subject to change a lot because depending on what Kylie crochets next, I may have to do some rearranging. But this is the plan so far. Piece number 4, bring it on. Okay, so pieces 1 to 3 are looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. And I have the pattern for piece number 4, so I'm just going to head on over to my crochet space and get this thing crocheted. Alrighty, for piece 4, we need 2 colors, and continuing on with my pastel rainbow theme, I'm going to be using green and purple. I'm probably going to do the main part or the bulk of it in purple and just the one round I think in green. Let's get this organized. And I'm going to have to make 2 of these, whatever they are. And they are fairly small pieces, it looks like, so it's not going to take me too long. I need to change color for the last round, and I'm going to be using this green. And another issue I'm having with this last round is it actually calls for 12 front post single crochet. And that is not a stitch I use very often. In fact, the last time I actually used it was in my previous collaboration with Complicated Knots when I made this spider. I think they were at the head here, front post single crochet. And before that, I think I've used it maybe twice before. And the issue I'm having right now is that I don't really remember how to crochet it. You go around the front posts of the stitch, which I mean, that's fairly obvious. It's right there in the name. But I can't remember if I go like round like that. Maybe not like that because I didn't even get my hook in. You go in and then like around it. Or is that like back post? Because I'm going in through the back. What I might do is I'm just going to wing it on this one. I'll just crochet it how I think it needs to be crocheted. Then because I need to make a second one, I will look up how to crochet the front post single crochet, and then I will fix that on the second one and just make a third to replace this one if I need to. But I think it's that, or do you go in like, no, because that just skips the stitch, doesn't it? Okay, so I've made 12 stitches. Whether they are in fact front post single crochet remains to be seen, but I'm going to go look up how to do that properly, and then I will do my second piece, and then I'll come back and fix this if need be. So I watched a couple of tutorials and I crocheted piece number 2. Turns out I did crochet it correctly, so yes. Anyway, but what I did notice is that I only did 11 in the first piece, so I'm going to have to do one more. Yeah. Look at me now, super confident with the front post single crochet. Okay, now that they are done, I have to figure out what they are. Piece number 4 was actually 2 pieces, and I don't think they're actually supposed to be fingertip warmers, but they're doing the job at the moment. And now I've got to decide where I want to put them on my Gastrodon monster thing. So, hang on. So, I'm thinking these might be arms. At first I thought they were horns, but I don't know, they're not really horn shaped. I don't know, they could be, but I was thinking either arms or supplementary legs. So if I stick them down the bottom here in front of the, no, that looks like boobs. So we're not going to be placing them there. My other thought was to have them on the side as sort of little arms, and that's where I think I'm going to keep them for now. Who knows, I may change it back to boobs later, but for now we're going to stick with the arms. And I actually brought pins with me this time, so I don't have to hold them in place. There, and that one can go there. And that's what we have so far. Let me focus that up. There we go. And now it's going to be my turn to crochet piece number 5. And so far I've neglected the head region, or at least what's the head region on my monster. So for piece 5, I'm going to crochet something that will add a little bit of detail to the head. All right, let's go do that. I grabbed my blue yarn because that's what I'm going to be crocheting my horn in. And we're just going to get started here with 4 single crochet in a magic circle. It's usually my least favorite way to start off. It's too small. It's one of the quickest ways to make my fingers feel like fat sausages. And And I'm going to lean into that fat sausage finger feeling by making my second round only 4 single crochet. Okay, now that I've spent 10 minutes trying to turn my work out the right way, I'm just going to continue on crocheting this horn. My intent for this piece was to give the horn a bit of like a curve or a wave sort of shape, so it wasn't just, you know, a straight horn. I mean, I kind of did it. If this was any other project, I might go back to the drawing board because I think this is a bit of a weird shape. But I mean, look at this thing. I think being a weird shape, just, you know, it fits the vibe. So we're going to leave it. And that is the horn complete. I'm just going to leave a tail so we can sew that on. And here is piece number 5. And I'm going to, hang on a sec. Done. Why did I cross that out? It's a whiteboard. I should have just wiped it off. Never mind. Okay, so piece number 5. And my little monster, and I'm thinking to stick this just directly on the front of the head here, like a really misshapen unicorn. Really misshapen unicorn. So I'm just going to pop that there. And now I have to wait for Kylie to crochet piece number 6. And I don't really envy her at this point because I don't know what to add to this, but that's going to be for her to decide. I wish her luck. And when that's done, we're going to start the process of putting this thing together. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm pretty excited. I have the piece number 6 pattern. I have my setup going because I'm doing Halloween stuff. And while I'm doing Halloween stuff, I'm just going to take a break and crochet myself a piece number 6. So I have my pink yarn all ready to go. And I did have my crochet hook. Oh, there it is. And I'm just going to crochet one of these because they seem fairly straightforward. And while the pattern does say make as many as you like, which it's intriguing, but I'm only going to make one. And I think when I actually put my thing together, I'll see if I need to make any more. Okay, we're going to start off with a chain. And there we go, piece number 6 done. And I forgot my scissors. But to me, that looks like some sort of fin, perhaps? And I might, maybe on the side, if I put it on the side there, and then I'd crochet one for the other side. I'm not sure yet, and I'm not going to crochet anymore for the reasons I said earlier. What we need to do now is we're going to figure out how I want to put this piece together. But wait, there's more, because Kylie and I actually have a few ideas on how we can improve on our little monster design here. Not that there's too much to improve on. I mean, why would we want to tamper with perfection? But in any case, that's what we're going to be doing in the next segment. So I will see you all then in like 5 seconds. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your 5-second break. As you can see, I've taken my little monster here apart, and I've done that in preparation for the next step. So the next step is going to be to cement our design idea. And while I have become emotionally attached to my little gastrodon thing, I want to keep an open mind because there might be other configurations that I like better. Therefore, what I'm going to do is just put these all together in different ways and see which ones that I like best. And I'm not sure where to start because I really, really do like my gastrodon. I've got to admit that I actually kind of like this one. I think Gastrodon might have some competition, but I really do like it. I've used what was intended to be like the little feet and underbelly as an armored shell. The horn is now a tail. The wings are still wings, but these two pieces that Kylie crocheted, which was piece, I want to say it was 4. I think it was 4. I've actually used those as not quite horns, but little head bump thingies. And I've used piece number 6 as the legs on either side. And I do like that design. So I think, my apologies to Gastrodon, but I think I might actually stick with this. Yep, I'm quite happy with that. I think I'm going to stick with this design. What we need to do now is put this thing together. But then our next step is going to be, we can customize our little monsters. The customization includes adding some details to it, but we also have the option, if we want to, of either redesigning or altering one piece. Alrighty, so I have just grabbed sort of every conceivable thing that I could think of that I could use to add some detail to my little monster. I've got cotton, felt, some roving wood, I've got old makeup, I got false eyelashes, I've got glitter, I've got embroidery thread, I've got different types of eyes. On second thought, I'm not going to use the glitter. Let's get rid of that. I'm not necessarily going to use all of this stuff, but this is just some of the options I had. I have decided that I'm going to put this thing together off camera, and then I'm going to bring you guys back and unveil my finished masterpiece, because I'd like to keep it as a surprise. I think it'd be fun that way. So I'm going to take an hour or two. Hopefully it won't take any longer than that. And I'm going to put this thing together, and then we can have the unveiling.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
And here it is, my completed masterpiece. And yes, it is less Halloween monster and more magical transforming school kid, but I think it works. I do like the pastel colors, how they went together, and I am happy with the final construction. As for the breakdown of this thing, what I did was use piece number 2 as both the head and the body. Piece number 1, which I crocheted, were wings, and I just added a few colored spots to those. Piece number 3, which was, what was piece number 3? Oh yeah, piece number 3 was supposed to be my little legs and underbelly, but I turned that into an armored shell, which I thought was pretty cool. Piece number 4, the head bumpies, which are head bumpies. And piece number 5 was the horn. Originally, I was going to have this as a tail, but I decided I liked it much better as a horn, so I just stuck it back on the head. And then piece number 5, no, the horn was piece number 5. Piece number 6 was the legs, and I ended up crocheting 2 of those. And you can see some of how I customized my little monster. I added a little bit of detail here, just a nice jewel to the front. I used my felty needle to do that. For piece number 6, I did end up adding an additional row, and I used picot stitches because I thought that armored shell, I did that in orange. I'm going to give it some armored legs. So I added some armor to the legs, and I also added some armor to the eyebrows because your eyes need protecting. Yeah, that's right. That's how evolution works. All that's left to do now is to name this thing. I haven't settled on a name yet, but my sister did suggest Unibug, which I think is pretty cool. But what do you guys think? If you're going to give this a name, what would you call it? Put all your suggestions down in the comments, and I'm going to pick my favorite. Though you have some pretty stiff competition with Unibug. Now that I've shown you what I came up with, so we're just going to pop Unibug name change possibly pending here. and I've got to take these off. I legit think they haven't been cleaned since the 40s and I cannot see a bloody thing. So I'm going to put those there. But now I'm going to look at what Kylie crocheted. So I have my laptop, and sitting on my desktop is a file. Let's get that up and running. Is a file called Spoiler Alert, which contains a couple of videos of Kylie's masterpiece. And I haven't seen them yet. They've been sitting on my desktop since yesterday, testing my self-restraint to the absolute limit. Like legit, I had to stop myself from opening that folder. Okay, let's pop over to the folder, and I'm going to bring you guys onto my desktop so you can see as well. Oh, however, I'm going to have to do some cropping because I've got all these other folders over here which contain stuff for upcoming videos, which I don't want to spoil yet. So you don't get to see those just yet. Okay. I can only see the thumbnails so far, but I'm going to look at video number 1. Oh my god. It's like a, I don't know, a caterpillar bug thing. That is so cool. Let's see video number 2. I love the eyes. The eyes look amazing. Oh, that is so cool. All right, video number 3. And what I crocheted as wings, she used as another detail, which I really, really like the effect that created. That looks awesome. I'm going to watch that again. Oh, hey, caterpillar. Oh, that's so cool. What do you mean you guys can't see it? It's right there on the screen. Oh, that's why. Yeah, if you want to see the cat caterpillar in its full glory, you're going to have to head on over to Complicated Knots channel and check it out over there. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Well, actually I kind of do, but this is one of the rules that we made, so head on over there now and check out the cat caterpillar. You won't be disappointed. And that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much to Kylie for working with me on it. I had an absolute blast with this collaboration. It was just great trying to anticipate what the other person was going to crochet, how they were going to use it, and then trying to think 2 steps ahead to what I wanted to crochet. It was a good time all around. So thank you again to Kylie, and thank you to all of you for sticking around and watching. I'll be back next week with a new pattern, which if all goes to plan should be the Hello Kitty sequel to make the nesting doll transforming cat. But we will see at this point. I'm filming this a little bit in advance, so plans might change. But either way, thank you again, and I will see you in the next one.